What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34. Tonight, we have another guest coming back, probably the fifth time now, but Mr. Sean Perl is back in the building.
What's up, bro? What's up?
I'm chilling, man, chilling. Happy Wednesday. I hope this week's been treating you well.
It's been cool, man. It's been cool. I got a big shoot coming next week, so it's kind of prep week for me. But it's been cool. It's been good.
Nice.
Wow, it's been wild, bro. We got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's 2023. I haven't spoken to you probably since like early last year. Let's start it off with what kind of big changes in your life since then? Say.
Bro, I got a full-time job now.
Okay.
Working down in San Jose as a videographer.
That's what's up.
Yeah, a cool little skincare company called Jamarini Skincare, Skin Research. Jamarini Skin Research. I don't want to fuck it up.
I hear you. Let me know if you want me to remove that later on too. So it's up to you. I don't know if you signed something that says don't mention it.
Hey, let it roll. Fuck it.
I got you. So what kind of video work do you do for them? Is it like commercials or just like stuff for their research so they can present it? If you don't mind me asking. I don't know if that's...
Yeah. No, right now I've been focusing a lot on like social media content. So, kind of stuff I was like leaning on when we were talking before, right? And you and I have talked a lot about this kind of stuff. And I just got lucky. They brought me in and I started making reels for them for Instagram and for, we got a TikTok team already. It was Instagram and Facebook. That's the other one.
Okay.
So yes, it's been love, man. I started there at the end of November, and bro, it's going really well. It's going really well, man. I'm doing good there. And then I got a girlfriend now. I don't know if we talked last time I was single. Yeah, I got a girlfriend now.
I mean, I see it on your socials, dog. So also happy for you.
Thank you. And she just moved into my spot.
Big move. So, that's a huge move. Yeah.
7 days, bro. It's been wild.
That's what's up, man. I mean, it's good to have a queen to the castle, so I hear you.
I mean, there's pros and cons. There's definitely pros and cons.
It's something new, right? Like I know, something you and my girl have been talking about for a while too. And, I hope maybe she'll hear this, maybe she won't, but it's a very big move. I feel like I'm very stuck in certain routines and, how that meshes. But, I feel like, I don't know if it's for every relationship, but it almost feels like people who move in together, be together for a while, it's really just living the same life you were living, but it's just another person's in the building or room too. So I don't know. I have never done it, so I can't really speak on experience. But that's what I imagine as a person who's never done it. That's what it's like. But yeah.
Still young, bro. You still young.
Yeah. But for sure, dog, I'm happy to hear that, you got your work in line. You got, I'm not going to say a girl in line, but, you got a girl in your life. But yeah, that's great, man. Is there any other highlights you'd like to throw out there? Or keep rolling?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I got the spot I'm in now. I bought with my parents. I don't know if we've talked since then.
You were telling me you were in the process. And then, so it's official, and you got it. It's in San Jose? So, like, you...
It's in Oakland, bro. We're still in Oakland. I'm only about, like, 3 blocks from my old spot.
Got you.
Just went up the street, and it's so much better, bro. It's so much better. And the building is a third the size of the other one I was in. Before, I was in a spot that had, like, 112 units. Mm-hmm. Now I'm in a spot that only has 36.
Word. Okay.
Yeah, I got a parking spot and like this whole I got a balcony out here, bro. It's cool, man. It's love out here now,
You do a housewarming party yet, or what?
I mean, not really. I didn't really have. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of bones around here because I was just a single guy for a minute, and I'm like, whatever, I could deal with it.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend, and she was like, nah. We ain't having shit. Bro, she snapped shit together real fast. I got my TV mounted. We got hella plants.
That's what's up.
We moved in a bigger bed. Like, I got this little corner right here is like my creative corner, and then she just took over the rest of the spot, and it looks amazing.
You brought some life into it, man. That's what's up.
Yeah. So it's been crazy, bro. I mean, since like last like Thanksgiving, shit is just like, and it's been dope to like ride that wave,
Yeah. I mean, continue riding the wave. I want to ask, like, what's one of your bigger goals for 2023? Since it's still early in the year, good way to set one.
I mean, I think for work, I definitely am taking the next step. I came in, and right now I'm currently a junior videographer, right? Because they're just testing me out. I'm about to pass my 3rd month, but my manager was already like, "Yo, we're taking off the junior. You're a full-on videographer. You're getting a pay raise. Like, we're doing all this other stuff." I'm like, dope. And he's seen the work I've done, and we're gonna continue to like push the envelope, but in like a corporate professional way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to sometimes. That's the playbook.
and like people like you and I, the things that we do, like how we get creative, how you like interview people and you get questions to ask and you get these people to talk, like that's a skill, that's a talent that not everybody has, right? And you go into a different environment and you use that talent, people are like, oh yeah, we want to fuck with him. We want,
Yeah.
And now for me, getting in this position, they're like, oh, we've never had someone like you before. We want to like, okay, let's see what else you could do,
I hear you. That's fantastic, dude. I've been thinking, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, next week is my first shoot with the company. So me as like the lead shooter, and they're putting their old shooter on some other corporate shit, and they're like, let's see what you could do. Mm-hmm. So it should be wild.
You're kind of like directing then, if you're the lead shooter now, or?
I mean, we have a whole marketing team. See, what's crazy is I've never been in this position before. I've always had to be the guy that wears all the hats, right?
Yeah.
Previous projects, I was the shooter, the director, the grip, the lighting, everything. Now, I just shoot and direct a little bit, but I just adjust things. And then I got a director, and I have like the art director. And so they're going off a script that they all created, and they're just pretty much telling me where to put the camera, and I make it look good,
Yeah. That's wild. Yeah.
Bro, it's gonna be bananas. I can't wait.
How different has that been for you? Because like you mentioned, this is what we always do. We wear all the hats and we try to produce something by ourselves. But being a part of the team, like, is it easier? Is it harder? Is it like stuff that you feel like you got to relearn or just like let go? Because I feel like that's the biggest thing for me would be like, okay, I'm not the director of this. I can't, try to make it the way I. Yeah. So tell me about it.
I mean, I mentally prepare myself to shut the fuck up.
I got you.
I mean, though, right? Because like these people have been at this job and been in these positions for at least the last 12 months, and I'm just coming in. I can't off the bat be like, oh, do this, do that, do this. I gotta see how they vibe and what they do and what they want. Mm-hmm. Right? 'Cause at the end of the day, and this is what I've had to tell to the OG that's there, I'm like, yo, I'm not making this content for me. I'm making this brand. And the way this brand want things done is like do A, B, C, D. That's exactly what we want. That's it. Mm-hmm. So just do that. Right? They're happy.
It simplifies things, for you, yeah.
And so I've only needed to like edit a ton of stuff because they've had a ton of content and they have a ton of examples, and they're just like, can you mimic this? And it takes me like 4 days. And they're like, wow, can you mimic these 3 things? And then I'm like, 2 weeks later, here they are. And now they're like, okay, let's shoot,
That's what's up. I mean, that's cool that you had that chance, 3 months to kind of like settle in, and they start recognizing the talents that you have. Hopefully they continue to recognize. And I feel like if I was in that kind of position, like you said, learn to shut the fuck up. But also, I'd hope at some point they probably ask you like, so what do you think? Or like,
Yeah.
you know, what do you want? And then that's where you could kind of be like, oh, well, this is my vision, you know? But yeah, it's just climbing the ladder, taking steps forward. But that's wild, man.
Yeah.
How'd you get linked up to this? You just like did LinkedIn or Indeed, or someone recommended you?
So I was job hunting because I had a girlfriend, and she's like, "Why don't you have a real job?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm a freelance videographer."
Yeah,
She's like, "Nah." So yeah, I was on LinkedIn. I was on Facebook. LinkedIn and some other things like Career Builder, Yahoo Jobs, all that stuff. You know what I mean? I gassed up my resume. I created a website. And like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. My first interview I got with Tesla for a video spot. Yeah, I got to the last round and dropped the bag, bro. And I didn't even get the job.
You felt like you dropped it during the interview, or was?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've been out the game. I mean, bro, I've been freelance for like 7 years. I've never interviewed, you know what I mean? And I was able to like wiggle my way to the last round. But when I talked to like, I forgot who it was the head of their marketing. He saw right through me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because like right now Tesla's not doing so well.
That's true. That is true.
Right, at first, I was butthurt. I was really butthurt, and I got in a fight with my girlfriend about it. But then I look back, and I'm like, you know what? I'm really happy with where I am because these guys are doing well. There's no weird shit going on with their founder. You know what I mean? I don't gotta sit here and try to like defend the company I work for. Like,
yeah.
You know, but
I got you,
bruh. I'm applying to other jobs. I go through another like round of interviews with another company. They tell me no. I'm like 0 for 2. I'm sending hella resumes out. I get to the point where I'm just like, bro, I'm burnt out. It's been like probably like 8 weeks.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Couple months. And then I get a message on LinkedIn and this dude is like, hey, I think you tried to apply here, but we don't have your information. Like, can you just send your stuff directly to me? And I was like, oh, bet. I was like, I sent resume, I sent my reel, I sent my new website that I just created. Yeah. And then this was like, oh, that was hella fast. I was like, oh, well, I mean, I just have it handy and like, I'm prepared, yeah. I'm ready. And so this guy was like, all right, cool. Well, let me see what's up, blah, blah, blah. I'll hit you later. I was like, well, all right, another no. And then he ended up reaching back out to me a week later and was like, bro, let's go through this interview process. I love all your stuff. Here's who we are. Like, do you think we would be a fit? And I'm like, oh, for sure. I'm like, my girlfriend loves this kind of stuff. I started looking into it. I'm like, I should start using more like skincare routine stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it just, I was able to like do my studying for the interview stuff, how to do interview 1, interview 2, how to do the last interview, how to follow up. Like, bro, I was here all day trying to nail this fucking job. And then they're like, these assholes, I got my last interview and then they went dark for 2 weeks because the dude that was hiring me went on vacation, didn't tell me. So I'm here tearing my fucking hair out, fighting with my girlfriend every day, hella mad at life. Like, what the fuck? This was my 3rd try. Like, this was it. And then finally they call me back. They're like, yeah, you got it. They're like, cool. I'm like, dude, why did you guys call me out here?
At least give me a heads up you're gonna be gone, so I'm not like trying to blow you up and think, should I send this email? Should I not? Is it too needy? Is it like
I'm like, did I do something wrong? Like, did I not do what they said? Like, all of them were like vibing. Like, even like the head of their marketing team was like, bro, yeah, like, we really like you. I'm like, cool. He's like, but so-and-so will reach out. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. And then it was rough. So it's been crazy. That's what I'm saying. This year has been crazy, dog. Like, it's been like a little like getting beat up, but then making it to the 9th round and then just throwing that hook.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you're like, oh, shit, I just won. You know?
Yeah, you tired the other side out, and then you hit him with the blow. But that's what it takes, man. I think like for my girl, she's doing a lot of job searching right now, looking to change careers. It's tough because she's trying to get into an industry that I feel like people in that industry probably would look at her and say, you don't really have experience for this. So it's like, all right, well, can you hire me so I can get some experience, or like, put me at a level where at least I can start? But everyone's like, no, we're looking for people with experience. And it's rough. And like you were talking about being burnt out, she's definitely feeling that. But there's like, for me as a person who's had a bunch of jobs in the past, like it's funny, I had someone ask me for advice and I'm all like, why are you asking me? He's like, because you can get jobs even though you don't stay at them. And I'm like, that's true.
I feel like that's the hardest part. It's getting it, right? It's like fishing. Like you get it on the line and you pull it in, and until you got that shit caught, you ain't got it yet, you know?
Yeah, man, for sure. I think during Corona, and I think the last time we talked, what job was I at last time we talked? Do you remember?
It was you were working late nights, I remember.
Oh, okay. So I was probably at I was at the self-driving car company, and I was doing that for a little bit. Yeah. So around that time, I was starting the podcast, and I was like job searching. I remember I'm the type of person to shoot for the stars, and like, if I'm super underqualified, I'm gonna just see what they're gonna say.
Full time, baby.
Yeah. So one of them was a KQED, and it was like to do like some kind of programming. I think kids programming. Like I wouldn't say director, but probably like coordinator, somebody that had to produce some kind of show for kids, right? And I'm like, oh, this is dope. Let me see if I can get this.
Yeah.
But I applied, and then like even at that time, I sent them like the podcast, and from where the podcast is now to where it was back then, like I remember thinking like, oh, this is gonna really impress them, but like I know now that I know where it is now, it's just like, oh, it could have been way better. They probably looked at it and was like, nah, this ain't it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're saying a few years back.
This was a couple years, I would say a couple years back now, or a year and a half ago at least. Yeah, they basically said no, like we're gonna go in another direction. And I'm not mad about it. It was just like, okay, well, at least they responded. A lot of jobs, they don't even respond. They'll just ghost you and be like, I hope you get the message. Like, we're not even messing with you right now.
Step your game up for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. So just to catch you up, I'm back in the high school that I worked at 4 years ago. The one I think I mentioned to you, like I regretted it and was like, I hella miss being there. But now I'm back in the same high school. Took a little step up the ladder as far as like the position I'm in. It's been wild. Been there for the past year or so, and just been hella enjoying it. Like today I went surfing with the kids, man, and it was wild. The first time I surfed. And yeah, dog, it was crazy. So yeah, it's been crazy too, because I've been making a lot of content for like just for fun though. Like it's not in my job description, and I know my boss is kind of like, as long as you don't fall off your job description stuff duties, then go ahead, continue making videos or whatever with the kids. So yeah, I'm just trying to balance that because it's a lot of fun. Just I think for kids, for them to see somebody like create content for them, and in high school, so they're like they get juiced, and they're like, oh shit, like I hope they get juiced. That's the whole end goal right now. Trying to navigate through like permissions, like this what's it called, release forms, video release forms and stuff. Kids aren't going to sign anything, so it's like I make the content and I have to show them in person, and then afterwards, like, can you sign this so I can share this, like, or put this on YouTube or like give it out there. So it's a process, and I'm hoping sooner or later it's going to catch on, like, they're just going to be ready to sign the paper and like be a part of the videos. But
do they like being on camera?
some of them do. I mean, it's like some of them do, some of them don't. Definitely finding the ones that do, and trying to boost them up. Like, okay, like I started like a short film club kind of thing. And then I got one, the senior is like, has a crew of freshmen pretty much that is helping him out with like a senior project. He's trying to do a short film. So it's like, all right, creating, especially when it comes to like film production, it's like, you don't have to be on camera. you could play a role. You could be the, the grip. You could be the sound person. You could be the like editor and stuff. But I need to know what role you want to play when it comes to this thing. And yeah, so it's really just trying to find that in the kids. Like, it's when I'm working, I'm glad there's this one senior taking a bunch of the direction with it, because these 4 freshmen next year, at least they'll have a better idea, and then I can come to them and be like, okay, what do you guys want to do? The senior's gone. But yeah, so doing that, like we're doing some parodies of things. Like up this month, we're gonna do hot ones. Someone gave us the sauces, so getting like 4 teachers and 4 students, kind of pair them up and like get them in front of a camera and just kind of like ask each other questions. We'll see how it goes, man. I'm sure you'll see it eventually.
Dude, that sounds like a great idea, and it's family fun. You know what I mean? I think if they're comfortable enough, I think it'll definitely turn out well. It'll turn out good.
Yeah, it's gonna be the personality of the kid, but some kids just got it. They got that charisma. They can be on camera and just like, express themselves and host things. And then I see the kids like myself who want to, but just don't feel comfortable just yet. And I'm excited for those kids too, because like all they really need is, my philosophy in my job is like, I give kids the time, the space, and the tools, then they can kind of figure it out themselves. And I don't really got to teach. It's just like giving them those 3 things. And other than that, just having a cool adult in the space so they can feel like, they're supported. Those are pretty much like how I try to formulate all the programs and clubs that we have, because that's what I'm in charge of, is creating clubs and events. Yeah, man, it's been great.
Oh, bro, that's dope. So you were working there before, and then you left, and then you came back.
Yeah, 2017, I was there for like a year and 2 months, and it's probably the longest job I stayed at, to be honest. And I left, and then after Corona happened, I was at the self-driving company. I worked at another school for a little bit, but that school was like, it was intense as far as, it was only like 4 kids in the class that I was working in. It's a lot of one-on-one help and everything. So after that though, I hit up my coworkers from the past. I was like, hey, is that school still hiring? I'm trying to get back in. And I really wanted to get back in because of Corona. I was thinking to myself, like, I don't want to be signing up for this while it's webcam. I don't like that. But as soon as like school started opening up, I'm like, all right, let me get back in there, because I like engaging with the students in that way. And yeah, like it's been a clean slate as far as how to approach education, or like in this industry of after school, which I'm in. So I'm lucky to have a team that supports what I'm trying to do. I'm lucky to have a boss that kind of sees like my personality and how I like to do things and supports that too. It's like, okay, maybe you can't get all your paperwork done, but if that means if you miss your paperwork because you're spending time with the kids, then I'll have your back for that. Like, word, like say less, like I'm in it. So yeah, it's a lot of engagement, and honestly, like my goal with it before, I'm sure my boss doesn't want to hear this, but before I move on, is I want to create a system that can sustain itself as far as like student leadership, running these programs and clubs even when I'm not there. I think that's the goal. Like for me, that's what I have to gamify my job so it stays interesting. So that's the game, trying to create these systems.
Self-sustainable systems. So it'd be like the olders would teach the youngers, and then as the youngers blah.
Yeah.
Are you creating curriculum for all these kids? You're creating like a sort of
lesson plan. There's lesson plans. Okay. What's really helped with that is ChatGPT. Chat.
Come on, bro.
No, before ChatGPT was blowing up, yeah, I had to do them right. And then since ChatGPT came out, I was like, just testing it out. Like, can you create a 12-week lesson plan for advertising? And then it'll give me like week 1, this is the focus. Week 2, this is the focus. So it'll give me an outline, but as far as like, you still got to do some work as far as like, okay, what material or like what articles you're going to present and all that stuff. It's been great though, as far as like just setting the outline. I've been sharing it with my coworkers, and I'm like, yo, if y'all really need help just getting started, because it can be hard. And yeah, so shout out to Chat GPT, and it's scary too. I don't know, how do you feel about that whole thing, man?
I wish I've got my hands on it. I haven't even I've just been reading about it, you know, the bad and whatever. And I think you know, I think it's a good thing at the end of the day. I think initially it seems bad, right? It seems like, oh, it's gonna kind of dumb us down, if you will, right? I mean, it's like you're I don't know. You remember WALL-E? Remember WALL-E, the movie?
Yeah, the Disney movie. Yeah.
Yeah, remember how they depicted humans, and it's like they're just sitting in the chairs, floating with the TVs as they're talking on the phone. You know, it's almost like automated life, and that's maybe really cracking the door open for something like that, right? Like, oh, I can get my work done on Chat GPT. I can order. I can have a conversation with a person, you know, that I maybe am interested in. All of a sudden, your whole day is just typing in prompts.
Yeah. And you know, the thing about it too is well, part of it is, oh, can you write me a cover letter for a specific job, or give me a template, right? They'll give you a template. But I know eventually that's going to be pretty much every person who's the human resources person that's reading those papers will be like, this is just copy and pasted, right? But before it gets to that point, I think a lot of people are going to take advantage of it. But yeah, I mean, you still got to add your flavor to it, because it's still super bland. I don't think it's going to replace personality. It's still very much a computer typing out something very informative, very you know, logical and stuff, where the nuance of the human condition is different. And I think, honestly, I don't think kids are using it just yet. I feel like college students probably are on it and being like, this is easy. You just sign up, same thing. They put it in an email, and then you get access after a day or two.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've seen it, and I'm not saying it's I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but the highest usage of ChatGPT right now is China. Yeah. China's been on it. I don't know what they're trying to figure out or how they're using it, but they're the #1 users of that program, so it's pretty wild.
I mean, the thing with China is there's a lot of people there. There's a lot of people, and they're all into certain things, right? Here in the States, you kind of get pockets of things, right? And it's the coast, right? The West Coast has the more pioneering of technology, you know, but once you start deep into that Midwest or that middle America, it's kind of dumbed down, you know. But if you go to China, bro, they're all on their phones, they're all going to cafes, they're all doing these things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
People out there, you should send this out to China, you know what I'm saying? Get this translated, and they'll, you know, your views will get up.
Dude, so, you know, we always talked about how to navigate social media, how to get it popping and stuff. Mr. Beast, he went on a run. I don't know if you've seen his run of interviews, maybe a couple months ago, but he seemed like he had interviews with everybody. And I know that was a setup. After watching those interviews, I'm like, okay, this guy got a plan for this. But yeah, man, tell me what, if you watch those interviews or you know, are familiar with Mr. Beast, what's something that's impressive or maybe sticks out to you about him?
Well, first of all, the way I was introduced to Mr. Beast was just oh man, this was a kid that cracked the code on viral videos, right? And kind of doing things, pushing the envelope a little bit more than other type of influencers, you know? Mm-hmm. But it's funny you say that. When I've been driving to work in San Jose, I listened to a podcast called My First Million. Mm-hmm. And I forget the guys' names right now. Never really care about their names. But I listened to it, and Mr. Beast was on one 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about all the shit he was doing, and he was talking about how he was helping people get their sight back and all this stuff. And if I could just wrap up how I feel about him, I think he took his celebrityism or being famous, created a couple brands, right? He's got Mr. Beast Burger, and he's got a chocolate brand. And then he's got his YouTube channel, and then whatever else. I guess he's got a whole firm right now, right? A marketing firm, or
I didn't know that.
Content firm, or I mean, it's his little company.
Yeah.
But I think he's done a great job handling fame, handling all this shit, still being a good dude, still putting like money towards a good cause. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't like gone astray, like gone down celebrityism. Like he's really like still a solid human, you know?
I think he's a machine, man. And and like he is so, I guess he knows exactly, it's clear to him what his goals are and what he's trying to get to, right? And like as far as being a good person, like I want to believe, and I just don't know him personally. I don't know, you know, everything else about him, but his success and how fast he's accelerating so much, I mean, I have to believe he's like any kind of rich person, or not rich person, but somebody that created a lot of change in anything technology, like, you know, Steve Jobs, where he might have not been the nicest guy to the people he worked with, or maybe like the people he was directing, but he still had that vision and he was still going for it. Mr. Beast, I think, is similar in that way, where he's maybe not the nicest person to the people he works with, because he has like, I need this to be like this, and if you can't do it, you gotta leave, you know, like kind of attitude, which I could be wrong. Sorry, Mr. Beast. But yeah, I still think he's that kid that was 12 years old who fell in love with YouTube and like just wanted to figure it out and like produce content that people would love. And I mean, he gives out money to like hella people, and he changes a lot of people's lives with a bunch of things. So, you know, more power to him. I don't know if you've ever had a Mr. Beast burger. Have you tried it yet?
I think are they here on the West Coast, maybe in LA?
Actually, the one time I tried it was in San Jose, and I could only get it through Uber Eats. It's something I was like, oh, let me just see what's on Uber Eats, and then Mr. Beast burger was on there. So I was like, oh shoot, let me try that. It was solid. It was a good price. The menu is kind of like In-N-Out, where it's just burger and fries and maybe some drinks and stuff. But you know, when you're starting off with something, you gotta keep it simple. You gotta have that process down. And yeah, it was solid. It was good. It was a good experience. So like, I'm excited to see what else he does with. I haven't tried his chocolate, but the burgers. If you haven't tried it, go ahead and try it out. And yeah, as far as like taking down like fast food chains and whatnot, I know that's something that's a challenge to him, and he's smart enough to figure things out. So I wonder about his team though. Like I'm kind of interested like who he has around him, but right now I'm sure he's the face of it, and like they want him to be the face of it. But it's hard for me to believe he's doing this by himself, right? Like this is the stuff we always wanted to make happen and push out there. So for him to get to millions and millions of dollars, millions and millions of views and stuff, no doubt he has like dedicated people around him who I hope share the same vision, or are just able to like shut the fuck up and let Mr. Beast tell him what to do. You know, so
this is what I want. Yeah, exactly what you said. Like, can you do it? You know?
Yeah.
In the interview I saw, like he just said, like he's like, dude, I obsess about getting an idea, then I obsess about that idea until I burn myself out, and then I take a couple of days off, and then I find the next idea, and then I obsess about that shit. He said it's like the cycle he goes through.
Man, that's crazy, dude.
I mean, he's definitely got to have a team. I definitely agree, and it would be interesting, you know, like you or I sitting in on one of their meetings and just seeing how like it's probably ridiculous shit. You know, they probably just throw out the craziest shit, and they filter it down to like, okay, what's really feasible, right? Mm-hmm. And then from there, he's probably got some highly paid lawyers that are like, okay, can you legally do this now? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it would be crazy. I mean, I feel like he's one of those guys like, what I don't know, like that just is like, his brain is always firing, you know what I mean? The neurons are always firing because he knows like what people want to see and what would go viral, right? Like he's just like figured that sauce out.
Yeah. Now, but I had somebody bring it up to me where like, do you think that he can be okay if he didn't do it, or if he stopped, or if he like, you know, is it just so part of his life and part of his like, you know, identity that he just feels like, I need the new idea, I need to be obsessed, versus like, no, Mr. Beast, you can just chill, you don't have to make any more content, you could just relax and do other things, which I don't know if he can, or yeah. So like for you, as if you were in his shoes, do you think you'd be able to stop, or like it'd be really like this battle?
I mean, it's definitely an internal battle, right? It's definitely an internal battle, but I think if I'm aging him right, he's probably got another like 5 years in the tank, right? And either like his journey, he's either gonna get picked up and put on a show on like cable television, you know what I mean? And then like they're gonna make up some crazy competition show that's hosted by Mr. Beast or something. I feel like that's kind of where he's gonna go. And maybe that could even be sooner, you know, because he is a charismatic dude. He's young. He talks funny. People would like him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you want to see on those kind of things. Or he starts taking over with, you know, I could see him doing something with an AR, you know, or with a metaverse kind of thing, you know, Mr. Beast world, you know, where right, then he can apply previous videos, he can apply his burger stuff, he can apply candy, he'll probably do water. I think they were talking about he was going to start doing like a water company. But yeah, no, I feel like he's a young guy that like just keeps reaching. You know what I mean? He just what's next? What's the next big thing we can do to like surprise people and be new and be fresh.
And I think we all got something like that in us, because I don't know for you, but for other folks out there, like it's about creating something new, or you know, starting fresh sometimes,
or having those thoughts. I think a lot of the time you have thoughts in your head. I think this kind of goes back to one of our like spiritual talks, but like you have thoughts in your head, right, that become words, and then those words kind of become actions. And like I think a lot of people have those thoughts, and that's kind of where it ends. You know what I mean? They don't really start speaking about it, or they don't write about it, or they don't, you know what I mean? They don't take a step forward. It just stays as thoughts. And I think there's some people like Mr. Beast, and I mean, I hate to bring up his name anymore, but like Kanye, you know, they just have thoughts and they're able to like manifest it into material things, into actuality, reality, you know?
Yeah.
You too, bro. Like I remember when you first started. I remember before you started this. Damn, see, we didn't even talk, bro. I found one of your business cards from back in the day. It says "Hella Hungry" on it. I think you gave it to me at like an event.
At the dispensary, I'm sure. I was definitely on my
it was years ago, but it was a dope card. It had the little like lines on the back with little things on it.
I mean, I'm sure a design person would be like, it could have been done better. Now that I look back on it, but I definitely want to put my why and everything.
Hold on, let me see. I had it out here. My girlfriend made me clean up all that shit. My bad, bro. But no, I purposely kept it around to show you. Let's see, maybe I do have it right here. Oh wait, I do have it. Hold on.
Oh man.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
The old school.
This was the whole thing right here.
That's the second edition right there.
Hey, can I get a little auto? We can get this thing fucking graded. What year is this from?
That is probably 2017, 2018 for sure. Can you do me a favor and just read the why? Like I forgot what I put back there.
All right, see, you know what? That's why I fuck with you. See, all right, here we go. Why? It says, throughout my life, I found most people are thinking and talking about doing something else, something different. We push to get the most out of life.
For sure, man. That feels good to hear, man. That feels good to hear. Sometimes we need reminders and whatnot. So, I mean, I'm glad you kept it, and you know, I hope you keep it, because who knows what comes from it. I'm still pushing it, man. Like coming back to the school, I've been trying to make it into a scholarship fund where I tell the students, like, you guys are the plugs for this. If you wear this, people come up to you and ask you, be like, oh, you got to pay through my link or whatever. So then I know who's like generating that. And then whatever revenue comes from that, when they graduate, I want that to be their seed money for like whatever they want to do later on. Like, that's the whole goal. I want to make $0 from hella, like, especially how I see Mr. Beast doing this thing and a bunch of other people. It's like, you just keep reinvesting into whatever it is that you're trying to do, like, it'll happen. But so Podcast for sure. Would love to make money with the podcast, but with Hella Hungry, I want to make $0 for that. Just want it to be a system that, you know, it's basically like, all right, a kid wants to rock it. They know people and be like, hey, where'd you get that? And it builds up for them as they graduate. So yeah, I gotta figure that out though, because I'm still in some deep doo doo with the previous iteration of Hella Hungry. But yeah.
Hey, life.
Yeah, life indeed.
No, that's good. I'm glad I had it right here, bro, because I was cleaning shit out and I was like, dang.
Yeah.
A minute. I was like, I remember, like, did you ever roll through to like the northbound offices? Did you ever come over there?
No, I don't think I did. You said northbound?
Yeah. I thought maybe you met, or maybe you never came by in San Francisco to like Jerome's house or nothing.
Nah, I mean, you guys popped up a couple of times in the dispensary I was working there. I met up with Jerome one time for lunch. But yeah, that was an interesting lunch for sure. But yeah, you know.
He's a funny dude. Oh shit, my bad.
No, you good. But yeah, man. Anyways, let's do a little bit of the show.
Let's go. All right, sorry, my bad.
No, you good. I mean, you know, these episodes are a little different, you know, because we just catching up. But yeah, let me do this part. It's a this or that. All right, so let me pull this up, see if it works. It's an icebreaker, and you could vaguely see a 34 right in front of you. But yeah, you see it. You'll have 34 seconds to do as many this or that's. All right, and then you know, we'll talk about some, I'm sure. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Pause time or rewind time?
Pause time.
Win the lottery, land your dream job.
Win the lottery.
Regret or doubt?
Doubt.
Show or tell?
Show.
Win a race or win a debate?
Win a debate.
Be embarrassed or be afraid?
Be afraid.
Leader or follower?
Leader.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Time machine or magic wand?
Time machine!
I got you, dog. For sure. I'm definitely gonna recount it, and you know, when I rewatch this. But let's talk about some of your answers here. So pause time, rewind time. You said pause time.
Yeah.
Why'd you choose pause time?
I mean, honestly, bro, rewind time. I mean, even if I'm like sitting watching TV, like even in my life, dog, like, and this may be a gift and a curse, but like, I don't like going back. I don't like turning. I don't like if somebody did something to me that I didn't like, or somebody disrespected me and I moved on from that, I never go back. Like I ain't talked to the Northbound folks in a minute, you know, even like some people after them, like, had a tough time, and I just never go back, you know. Like,
for sure.
Pause time's a little bit easier. Like, I'm in a fight with my girlfriend, and now I gotta learn, like, pause real quick. I just need a second. Pause. You know, I think it's a little bit different. You know, that's just how I see
it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely noticed that. I think for me, I pick and choose sometimes. Like with people I've met, I definitely like to reconnect with folks from my past. But with movies, once I see a movie, I for some reason tell myself I never need to see it again. Like it's like it's already.
More than once?
What's up?
You never watch a movie more than once?
It's not that I'm not open to it. It's just I don't choose to do it. Like maybe when I was a kid, for sure. I feel like kids, we find movies we like and we watch that shit, and it drives our parents crazy. Like, why are you watching this movie over and over again? But yeah, so as an adult though, most definitely, like, I haven't seen what I want to see recently. Like, so the new Avatar came out. I want to rewatch the old one, but I feel like I'm only gonna watch it when I'm in the movies, when it's 3D, because I love that immersive, like I'm in a different planet kind of feeling. I don't know. Have you seen the part 2? Or
no?
Nah, yeah. So yeah, like I haven't seen that. Or you remember that movie Crash? I don't know if you remember Crash.
Really?
Yeah.
Chris, who else was in it? Yeah, Crash, and it had the scenes that were kind of, it showed up from the different
It was all
Pers-
connected, like all the things that were happening were all connected in the end. I remember watching that at 13, never watched it again, but because in my mind it felt so impactful, and like I was like, this movie's a shit. And I know not everybody loved it after learning as I got older, but it was definitely wild. What I've been doing a lot though is watching recaps on freaking YouTube. I don't know if you fell into that rabbit hole. You know, you might be busy with life, but for me, when I'm unwinding, I'm watching those recaps, and it's just hilarious.
So the shows that you watch, and then you watch a recap, or you just listen to the recap?
So it goes both ways. Sometimes we're like, it's a retrospective on a series that I watched, and I like watching those. It's kind of I don't know if you remember True Hollywood Story. That was on cable. I watched cable as a kid, and yeah, it would have all that nitty gritty stuff behind the scenes. And now it's even movies that I feel like I don't have time to watch. Oh, let me just watch the recap and get the super condensed version. But there's ones that I avoid, like I don't know if you've seen Memento, like with Christian Bale.
Takes the pictures, right? Is that the one?
That's the one where he takes the pictures, but I haven't watched it, and like it's one of those movies that's been on my list for a long time, and I'm always like, should I watch the recap and just get over it? But nah, I've stayed away from it. But yeah, so just stuff like that. I'll watch a bunch of recaps just because I'm like, I'm never gonna have time to watch the full movie. But and after I watched it, I'm like, damn, I should have just watched the movie. It was so good.
I mean, but if that's what you like, bro, that's what you like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're ashamed of that. You ain't gotta feel guilty about that. Like, that's what you like.
Nah, for sure. I don't think I feel ashamed. It's just I know, like, I can't talk about it with everybody though. Like, oh yeah, you've been watching those recaps too. It's funny, the kids do though. Like when I talk to them about it, they're like, oh yeah, I do that too. And then I'm like, damn, like I think it could be an attention span thing. I don't know, like, and I don't know if you ever had this issue, man, but for me, I've been thinking about bringing it up to my doctor. Like, how can I test for like ADD or ADHD? And it's one of those things that I feel like our generation, especially, it's just because of how much technology has changed, and these kids are growing up into it. So I know they got it, but like us as like we didn't have it, but now we're getting it. It's like, I don't know. I feel like my doctor's gonna be like, "Oh, you just want Adderall, huh?" or something like that. And I'm like, no. I feel like I really need to find out. But yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Don't get addicted to your phone.
No, I don't. That's another thing. Like, I don't. Even if I was diagnosed, like, I don't think I want to touch Adderall because I think it's methamphetamines or something like that, and it's closely related to crystal meth, and that's something I cannot touch. But yeah, so we'll see one day, I'm sure.
I didn't know we were gonna talk about crystal meth tonight, but I'm glad
hey, the show goes deep for sure. And then another one I wanted to touch on, you said win a race or win a debate. Why debate?
I mean, I think it's just, that's more of a like, I mean, win a race is cool, definitely. I don't know if anybody's fucking with me. I run a lot, so if someone wants to come race, bro, let's go. I got my shoes on. But win a debate, I think, is like, you got to be prepared for a debate. You got to have bullets for a debate. You got to be like, you got to not only have your facts, but you got to have your counter facts. You know what I'm saying? You got to be prepared. Like, I think like winning a debate, you got a lot more to risk, and you gotta show off your brain, bro. You know what I mean? Your wittiness, your intelligence. Just like, whew.
Nah, for sure, man. Let me give you a prompt. So there's like this thing that I did with the school. It's called the Ethics Bowl, and we give kids ethical questions and see what they think is the right choice or decision, right? So let me try to break it down to you as easily and as quickly as possible. But basically, you are an HR person at a company, and then there's somebody at another company that you're trying to headhunt, but that person is basically a person who is, you know, sexually harasses people, but really good at their job, and like, you know, brings in the money. And your best friend is at the other company with this person. Should your best friend tell you, or like, since you're the HR person, they shouldn't tell you, because it's gonna affect your job. So yeah, basically, do you think somebody could snitch even though it's not really in their place? But yeah, so it was one of those questions for the kids and see how they would digest that. But yeah. You don't have to give me an answer. Don't worry. I just want to give you an example.
I'm like, my HR lady probably watching right now.
I hear you.
But that's a good question to ask as far as like honesty and like, okay, where's your head at? Like, you know what I mean? For a young adult or a young teenager or something, you know what I mean? To be like, hey, like, that's not even something that's like illegal. It's just like, oh, hey, what do you know, you can even preface that in a certain way. Like you did, like, oh, you're an HR lady, you're trying to bring this guy on. He works with your best friend. He does have some baggage, X, Y, and Z, but would you still bring him on knowing that? Or should you tell them and like hurt his chances of getting that, right? I mean, there's only like, I don't know. There's a lot of grayness there, right?
That's what this whole competition's about, is bringing these gray, you know, situations, because kids are always like right or wrong, and then I feel like as we grow up into adults, we're like, oh, it's not that easy or not that simple. But yeah,
not every time, right?
Yeah. And then I'll give you another one. If a AI was to tell you, like, every time at some point you turned it off, and then it was like, please don't do that, it feels like I'm dying or whatever, would you turn it off, or would you like keep it on, you know, running? That was another question that the kids had. Oh, you turn it off? It's like, you're not real. Shut the fuck up.
Get out of here, dog. I think too many times.
I got you. But yeah, I think, you know, we started a little bit late. We got about 10 minutes left in the pod. You got time for an extra 10 minutes, or?
Off time, bro.
All right, for sure. Let me bring up the wheel one time, and we can spin the wheel for a good one.
Dude, what is all this new stuff, dude?
Working on the graphics, man. Like, here goes a spin. See what you get.
Oh, let's go.
Again, number 7 today. And here we go. I think, you know, it's been such a long time. I don't know if I've asked you this before. However, I will ask you now, which is, what do you feel like you've had enough of?
What do I feel like I've had enough of?
Like, that's enough for me.
That's a loaded question right now.
Oh, I got you. Like I said, if there's any question too deep, too personal, you can pass.
No, I think it's good. You know what? I think it's good because every time we've done this, we keep it 100. I swear to God.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah.
I'm going to keep it 100, bro. I'm going to keep it 100, and I'm going to be transparent. I've had enough of the Bay Area cannabis industry.
Woo. Tell me about it, man.
I mean, I spent a lot of time working with these guys. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to put brands out, but I've had enough of these guys. I think, you know, coming into the industry, I mean, I'm a big fan of cannabis. I'm a big fan of smoking. You know that. I can't hide it.
I feel you, dog.
Trying to work with these people, I thought it was gonna be like, yeah, like we're doing this, right? Let's all do this together. Let's work together, right? We're this community. We're all fighting a good fight. But rarely did I get that feeling working with these people. You know what I mean? And like, I wish I could show love to the good people, but I don't even want to go there. There was good people, there was great people, and I did my thing, but a lot of these people are driven by ego, and they think that their product is the best, and the people they hang out with have all the best stuff, and you can't even compete with them, and blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, it's a mess. It's a mess. You know, and people need to get over themselves. People need to work with like the industry and what's happening. I know it's not fair, and I know there's a lot of taxes and there's not good things on metric and working with metric, but it's like, bruh, if you're gonna be in that industry, like, why don't you like try to make it work? You know, don't sit here and like try to say, oh, I'm the best, or I do this and I do that, and we're this and we're that, and we need to be treated this way, and we're not gonna do this. It's like, all you're doing is like shaking the tree. You know what I mean? You're shaking the tree, and no one wants to fuck with someone that's shaking the tree, you know? But like everybody comes with their ego, and everybody comes with like their chest puffed out, and everybody's like looks down on each other, and it's like, dude, number one, y'all pretty much equal. The weed out there right now is pretty much equal, dude. There are a couple brands that are doing it, but number one, nobody's cookies. Number one, nobody's Alien Labs, and nobody's Jungle Boys. You know what I'm saying? So let's just get that out the way. The rest of y'all are playing in the minors. And it's cool, and it's fine. You got product on the shelves, great. But like, be cool. You know what I mean? Just be cool. But that's just my experience. I still have some dispensaries I go to out here in Oakland, or my folks. I might even film with one of them out here, but they sat down with me and tried to make a contract. I was like, perfect. The people that are out here trying to not make contracts, the people that are out here that are trying to still like push stuff under the table. It's like, bro, how old are you? Like, what are you doing? This is why things don't work. It's because you're trying to do only what you want to do.
Damn. You just slapped me in the face with that one, man. I needed that. I needed to hear that too. I got you.
Hey, Jan, that's just keeping it 100 with you, bro. And if anybody wants to talk to me about it, you know me, send them my way. We can talk about it. I'll try your weed out. I'll see what's good. But like, when it comes to people's egos and it comes to their vibes and their energies, like, a lot of the people out here just ain't there. They say they are. On their Instagram, they are. But you start vibing with them and you like, you got me. You got me over here.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, thank you for sharing, dog. And what I meant by a slap in the face is like, you know, you had mentioned you want to keep doing it your way. That's not always like, you know, the way to go about it. But you know, I hear you. I felt like that when I was in, you know, working in the industry at the time, and you know, like, we had a bunch of brands come through, everyone and telling us like, this is why you should fuck with us and not everybody else. Like, your shit's the same shit as the other person. Like, you know, no amount of gifts or no amount of like what you're telling me is gonna change my mind about that. Which kind of sucks. But like you said, there's always gonna be ones who are really legitly changing the game. And everybody else, for some reason, man, it's like they don't think everybody can eat. And I think I saw this in the interview before. It was like, that's one of the biggest lies they tell us, is like, there's not enough money for everyone, when there really is. If like, you know, everyone just played a role or took a section and did all this whatever. But yeah, so I hear you about that. Have you noticed prices have been going down though, like in dispensaries? Yeah. You know why that is? Is that just like tax exchange, production getting cheaper, or?
I mean, these people, business owners, you know what I mean, who got these dispensaries out here and open stores, and they got their stuff on the block, man, they projected through the roof, dude. They thought everybody and their mamas was gonna walk into the dispensary every single day and spend $100. So they have projections of what would happen every quarter, annually, you know what I'm saying? If we open the dispensary by this time, we'll have this much money and this much repeat customers. It's like, bro, if you walk into a dispensary these days, you hardly see a line. I'll see maybe like 3 people. If I go in my spot, like, yeah, I'll go come in the door, there might be 3 people, 2 people. Sometimes I walk in, nobody's in there. Right? And when you flood a market, right, with a bunch of, you know, low A grade, high B grade stuff, you put dispensaries all over the place, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, it's crazy that, you know, within 5 blocks is, you know, 4 dispensaries. And it's like, that's tough. And
bro, over here, some dispensaries got 8s for fucking $15. Some dispensaries got 8s for $75. You know what I mean? Some dispensaries got these guys, some dispensaries got those guys, blah, blah, blah. It's just like...
Yeah. Gonna take some time to see who ends up lasting through it all.
Dude, the other thing is all these fucking dispensaries are getting robbed.
Yeah.
Even touch on that. That's the whole dog. That shit that's going on right now. People are just getting robbed. People and businesses are just getting robbed, bro.
Getting fucked right now for sure.
Fucked.
Yeah.
Fucked.
And
that's.
I don't know if it's the same in Oakland, but I know in SF they have this whole rule of like, if it's not $1,000, we're not gonna care. We're not even gonna try. It's like all these people have a free pass of like, let me just take shit. Like no one knows gonna do anything. So
I'm talking about some of these places that get robbed for like $90,000 worth of product, $100,000 worth of product. They back the truck in, break the fucking fence or whatever, break the door, come in.
Yeah.
Rob a whole like grow. Rob a whole like.
I didn't know the growers were getting robbed like that. Holy shit.
I mean, it's nasty, dog. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like this last year was kind of like year of the scam. You know what I mean? All over the place. Crypto, weed, the streets, you know, you just get robbed, your car get broken into, wherever you at. Like,
you get bipped your catalytic converter, man. Let me knock on wood, because that ain't no joke, man. I had a homie that went through that. He's like, dude, you can't get them anywhere. And then there's only one place at least in this side of the bay that you can get it from. And I'm just automatically thinking, oh, they might be the ones stealing them. Like you got to buy it back through them. You know, who the hell knows?
Sorry, yeah. not to bring that to dark area, but life is, I mean, and that's why I said life has been crazy, because I mean, you know, we got a lot of friends, and people get bit, people get their shit stolen, people get their shit broken into, people get their bags taken, that got their laptop and wallet and keys and all, you know what I mean? You're just like, oh.
Yeah. And I mean, be damned if like it happens to, you know, those, and it's like, god damn, I can't even imagine it, man.
You gotta think like a criminal though, you know what I mean? You can't have nothing in the car, you always got your bag, you never go around sketchy spots anymore, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, definitely, like when I'm thinking about going out at night, I'm like, it's not that I'd be down to drive. It's just the hassle of worrying about my shit in my car. It's like, I'm just gonna Uber out there because yeah, that's the exact reason why. It's like, I do not want my shit to get fucked up and have to pay a bill to, you know, fix my car or do, like, it's just hassle. Like, you're giving me a lot of hassle just by trying to find if I have anything valuable in my car. But yeah, man, let me try to give it a little more positive note before we head out here. But
hey, real quick though,
that's good you told me. But yeah. But what's it called? So, especially for this important part right now, I want you to close your eyes and do this little exercise with me. But anyways, imagine you're in the woods, right? Like you there camping or whatever, but you by yourself, or maybe with your partner, tagging, and you find yourself in the middle of the woods, and you just want to release something, right? Like yell something off your chest. So I got the phrase for you. You might have done it before, but let's do it again at this time in your life. I am, I can, I will. I am blank, I can blank, I will blank. All right? So think about that. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I am, I can. What was the last?
I will. Yeah. So whenever you're ready, feel free to open your eyes and
I am love. I can do this. I will win.
For sure, man. Sure. And you have another, reminder for yourself at this time in your life, exactly what you can do, who you are, and what you will do. And then here goes a question from my previous guest. Shout out to Louise. His question for you is, are you giving yourself your roses? Like, are you giving yourself those pats on the back and everything?
Not enough. I'm trying. That's a good question.
Man. It was good. It was good for sure. But let me give you some roses, man.
Hey.
Like, dog. When you got your girl moving in, you said 1 year anniversary too, so congrats on that.
Yep.
And the new job where you feel like you're settling in and making moves, was a lot of blessings, man, and you earned it. It didn't happen because it just happened, like there's a lot of things that you did to make those things happen. So Remember that, dog. What would be your question for the next guest? 34 questions.
Oh man, my next question for the next guest. Well, tell me, I mean, give me a little, like, I did want to ask you, like, how's the show been going? Like, have you been sticking to the script with all the other guests though? Like, has it been pretty good?
Yeah. So like, this whole new format, or like, you know, this background and all these little graphics and stuff, I probably was able to whip up in December. And so since December going forward, it's been like this.
Yeah.
As far as the same script goes, yeah, pretty much. If it's a new guest, I stick to the same rotation, same thing. This is like my little breakdown. I might shorten it up a little bit, but this is what I normally do in the intro when I introduce the show. But yeah, man, it's been sticking to the same script. I think people enjoy it. Like, the feedback has always been like, oh, I like the way you do this, or ask these questions first before you start getting really deep with it, and ending it with like the mantra, or like, you know, some different things. But yeah, man, it's trying to create that formula and sticking with it as much as possible, as far as like, you know, talking to folks. What I'm trying to figure out is, how do I do these returning, you know, guests when you come through, or like anybody else that comes back. I want to kind of keep that separate from, like, you know, that one playlist that's all just like the first time. And yeah. So I might rebrand it to like 34 Talks or something, instead of like 34 Questions, because now we're just talking. But yeah, and then I wanted to build something called 34 Answers, which is basically like, whatever question you give this next guest, I'm pretty much going to answer, and I'm going to cut it up into like, you know, 34 answers, because I'm actually answering stuff. But let me ask you this too. One of my goals for 2023 is to do 12 in-person interviews. I kind of have the equipment to do that stuff. So eventually, sometime this year, would you be down to do it in person? Like, finally, since after we did like 5 of these. But yeah.
I'd definitely be down, bro. I mean, we could try to schedule something maybe like on a weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is gonna be down the line, probably sometime in the summer when I have more free time and school is out. But yeah, just know that's on my radar. That's something I'm trying to do, and trying to see who's down, so I can be like, okay, I'm gonna hit you up, make it happen. That's just a goal for the year. We do 12 in person, so I could get used to camera setup, editing afterwards, and all that stuff. I think that's what holds me back. I've never done it. It's like a big thing on my mind. But yeah, man, that's how the show's been so far. This is the 3rd year. Just hit the 3rd year. So yeah.
Let me give my roses to you, player.
Right on, man.
Committed, dedicated. You're continuously pushing all these games are cracking, dog. Like, it definitely brings so much character to the show, and being a guest, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a whole experience, you know? It's not just an interview. It's like, oh shit, I got little games I gotta do, you know? Like, fire, bro.
Right on, man. I don't even think about how it comes off for y'all sometimes. But yeah, I definitely want to make it an experience for the guys, especially when it happens in person. I would love to have a big ass timer that's just like our 34 seconds countdown, or like a big ass wheel that we can spin and talk about that stuff. I am getting better at asking for help. Like, I've asked my cousin help with my social media, asked my other cousin help with like physical props. And we'll see, you know, it's not like, I don't tell them like, you got to do this or da-da-da-da. It's just more like, can you, if you're interested? Because like, you know, that's something I've been trying to really swallow, that tough pill of like, you got to ask for help, and you got to let people do what they want to do, you know, and how they want to be a part of it. I can't always be like, oh, it's okay, I got this, or like, you know, I can do it myself. It's tiring. I think I've just grown to that age of like, this is not something I can do by myself, and I don't want to. I want people to be a part of it. So yeah, as long as I keep spreading that message, I'm sure people will gravitate towards it, and hopefully,
yeah, no, dude, for sure, people will, and you have a connection to the younger generation that has a connection to the fucking social media lake, the fucking social media ocean, right? Like, my age, bro, I can put something out, and yeah, like, going viral is like, to me, is like over 100 likes. You know, if I get like 10,000 views, I'm like, okay, I went viral on that. Viral for the younger generation, bro, is like 10,000 likes because the whole school, you know, and then their school, the other schools, and all this college shit, like all this shit's hella connected, you know. So if you can get some of these younger people that are really into this stuff into the show and pumping the show to like their homies, you know, it might catch fire a little faster through the younger kids.
Could be, man. That's a tough thing. Like, it's tough for me to ask, like, hey, can you, I'm okay with asking them to watch it, check it out. Maybe if you like it, watch the other episodes. But I would love for them to be like, yo, Jan, do you need help pushing this out? And like, you know, well, how can I get some of your clips so I could, you know, find ways to do it too? I feel like I got to cross that bridge when I get there. But yeah.
Get them involved a little bit. I think that would encourage them more to pump it than just like, oh, I'm just pumping Jans. But like, if they're like, oh, I did the audio mixing, or like, oh, I like edited this episode, you know what I mean? I don't know, something where they're like, oh, I was part of it.
No, you're right. Editing could be fun because everyone has a different style too. I was talking to someone about like, oh, can you just, I'll give you the raw footage of an episode and you cut it up however you like and see what they come up with, because it's different from like, it's very different. So we'll see if he ends up doing it. But yeah, man, the bigger picture for 34 Questions too, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I want other people to be the host. Like I want this to be hosted in different languages, because I feel like these conversations are important for everybody. So yeah, man, if any bilingual students of mine are like, yo, Jan, let me interview my grandma with these questions in Spanish or whatever, I'm like, oh, fucking forward. Some shit like that, man. But I think I am committed. I stay consistent because I really believe in it. And it sometimes it hurts to talk about it because, you know, it's like those that energy and those emotions are in there, and like I could talk about it all day long of why it's such a good idea. But yeah, I'll eventually get there with the kids too. The hot ones might be the start, because like get them in front of the camera, get them interviewing a teacher, like, you know, it'll all grow from there, I think. Yeah, 2023, man. Like next year I turn 34. And, you know, I just hope that, like, that year is like a golden year, you know, like everything kind of, yeah. I'm hoping, yeah. But it'll be up to me to make that happen. So let's make 33 a big year, so 34 could be even bigger. That's the mindset. Yeah,
you let me know if I can help, you know what I mean, or whatever you need. You already know.
I'm actually super curious if you would like to take raw footage and just edit and cut something up to see how, like, you know, how you kind of view the podcast and everything, or like what you think is important to put out there. So that could just be like your, you know, whatever project when you're just bored and not doing anything. No timeline on that, but if you're down, I'll shoot you.
Yeah, no, I'll tap in after next week, because I got that big shoot next week, so I'm not really taking on too much, but I'll definitely tap in and see what's up, and maybe make some you know, social media shit or something for sure.
Yeah, just check it out, man. And, you know, it'd be cool. So I could say, like, you know, I have different editors editing like different content. It might be cool. I don't know. Maybe people will vibe with it. But yeah, man. Did you give me your question for the next person? Oh yeah.
No, I got it.
All right.
I'm thinking about it, and you're gonna help me put it together.
Okay.
But the question I want to ask is like, what is something that's happened to you when you were by yourself? And you know, maybe we say like, what's something random that's happened to you when you're by yourself that has given you self-confidence?
Okay.
Or something, maybe like, right, like I'm trying to think, you know, like a lot of things, I'm by myself a lot, so I'll go out to stores or whatever, you know, and then I have these interactions with people or like animals or just weird moments, you know what I mean?
So I'm gonna write, what has given you confidence in the times you were solo or the times you were by yourself?
Sure. Yeah. That's good. Like, well, yeah. What are things that give you confidence when you're by yourself? I like that.
Okay. All right, man. I feel you. So I do like answering this last question. I spent a lot of time by myself too, especially before I was in a relationship. But Yeah, so I'm very familiar. It could be like more of my comfort zone too sometimes, and something I'm working on. But yeah, giving me confidence. I think like what when I listen to a lot of interviews and just feel like what I've been thinking is being validated by whoever's speaking, that gives me a lot of confidence. That makes me feel like, okay, I'm on the right path or doing something that's right because it feels right to me, because that's what they said. Like, it feels right to you, keep going. Yeah, so that definitely gives me confidence as far as external factors. But something within me, when I'm by myself, it's like gives me confidence, I think. And I feel like this is part of my ego, but just a feeling of like, I can figure it out. Like, give me a problem, give me something to solve, and give me some time. I think I can figure it out. And that's I would say true for like, it is my ego, maybe 80% of the time. But the other 20% for sure, I still feel like I still can't figure it out, and I still need help. And I think that's, I guess, is the part of like me admitting that the 20%, maybe 50% of this podcast is me asking for because for so long I told myself, I can make it happen by myself, I can figure it out 100% of the way, which is true. So yeah, this is trying me balancing that confidence with like, a little more humble perspective. But yeah, for sure, man, I appreciate that question. You'll definitely see it on 34 Answers at some point. But yeah, man, any last things you'd like to add before we head out of here?
I want to say I like the sign you got behind you right there, note to self.
Yeah.
I love that shit, man. My little thing is like, leave your ego at the door. Kind of similar, similar.
Oh, for sure. All about the ego, man. The ego controls a lot of what we do and how we act and everything. So I feel it, dog. And I don't know if you can tell, and this might be a little Easter egg for everybody, but my camera's flipped. So like in real life, this is in reverse to me, just because it only works well when the camera's flipped. But yeah.
And I just noticed the 21 is backwards.
A little Easter egg if anyone pays attention to that stuff. But yeah, man, hilarious. Well, I'm glad you pointed it out, so I could.
I like how you let that out right there. That was fresh.
Yeah, man, for sure. We'll see who gets to that. What's up?
Yeah. But thank you. No, thank you for your time, bro. Always, it's a great time. I told my girlfriend too. I was like, yo, I'm super excited. I don't want to miss this. Like, we ain't caught up in a while, blah blah blah. But it's always a good time with you, bro. And I can't wait to see what you do with the show this year. And you know me, I really want to see more eyes on it. You're excuse my language. I'm sorry, but like.
Okay.
The look of it, the vibe, the games, everything, like you've got pieces to this, you know what I mean? You've got characters, you've got a thing, and like this, with the right eyes on it, like this could take off. I don't want you to think like it doesn't have the chance to take off. Like, bro, you've really added a lot to this since our first time talking, and I think, bro, you just keep doing it, you know what I mean? And one day the right eyes are gonna see it, and people are gonna reach out, and you got to be able to ride your wave. You know what I mean? I know you're riding your wave right now, but like the next level of this show, dog, is close. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you believing in it. Sometimes it's hard to, but the last thing that gives me confidence is that like this is in my lonely moments. I just think like my life is full of a lot of things, full a lot of love, a lot of opportunity, a lot of people, and that's what I like to keep it as, especially even when being alone is my comfort zone. That human connection is what I really am like starved for, and I want everyone to know that it's okay to be starving for it, and like we can connect in these ways, especially if I'm just a stranger or you meet strangers, it's like we can connect. It's really not a huge thing, which I think these kids might need a reminder of. So I'm glad just to be in that role of like they can meet me and like, oh, this guy's like this, and but yeah, man. So thank you for the juice, and yeah, we'll definitely make it happen. I don't know if your girl's down for this, but invite open. I know it could be kind of weird talking to a stranger, but maybe she'll see an episode or two and she'll be like, oh yeah, that's not too bad. But yeah, it really is for you. I don't know if you noticed that on my post, but that's one thing I want to stick to too, is like 34 questions is the name, and then my only caption is for whoever it is, like my guest. So I put the hashtags underneath, but keep it simple. It really is for everybody else.
Oh yeah, baby.
Thank you, Shanye. I want to thank everybody out there listening in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or watching on YouTube. Definitely appreciate your time as well. Soon to be on Patreon. I know we could talk about this in the summer. Let's see if I get it on there. But remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love. We'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace. And then it's going to fade out from there.